Good morning, ninth graders. We are starting chapter 2 of our grammar curriculum today. And in this chapter, we're going to be focusing on expressing present time. Now, there are some skills in this chapter that are important, and there are some not so important skills that I think you already know. So I am going to skip over the first part, and we are today, instead of talking about things we do every morning, like I eat breakfast or I turn off my alarm clock, we're going to move on to using something called frequency adverbs. These are the words that we will use that come between a subject and the verb that talk about time. So you might have heard the word always or usually, often, sometimes, seldom, rarely, and never. There are different times when we can use these words depending on how often something happens. So, for example, we're going to look at this chart. If we are going to use the word always, it means something that we consistently do. Drinking tea. Anne always drinks tea with lunch. You notice that she's got tea every single day of the week. Always has tea. Bob usually drinks tea with lunch. You can see that most days he has tea, but maybe one day he doesn't. Maria often drinks tea. So she maybe has tea 5 out of 7 days because she does this often. Gary sometimes drinks tea with lunch. You can see here he's got 3 teacups. He has it 3 days. Allie seldom drinks tea with lunch, maybe 1 or 2 times. Georgia rarely drinks tea, maybe only 1 day. And finally, Joy never drinks tea with lunch. No days do we have this. So we're going to be finding the subject and the verb in the sentences and then adding the frequency verb that fits in. As you recall, I told you that it often comes between the subject, who or what the sentence is about, and the verb. So here we have, I eat breakfast, but we want to add the word always. So we would say, I always eat breakfast. Next one is usually. I get up at 7. I usually get up at 7. I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I often drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I eat carrots for breakfast. I never eat carrots for breakfast. As you can see, we add these words in between the subject and the verb. Now, when we add in a verb like be, which in our case we know means is, are, or am, changes a little bit because now we have a subject that is the person's name. We've got the verb is. Then we add in the frequency verb. Tom is always late for class, or Tom is sometimes late for class, or Tom is always late for class. But down here it's different. Now it says Tom usually, often, blah, 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 comes late to class. Frequency adverbs come before the simple verbs except for be. So Tom sometimes comes late works. You would not say Tom is sometimes comes late. We don't say is and comes together. No, no, no. So in this case, when it's is or are or am, we'll put the frequency adverb after it. Over here, we just say Tom, we use the frequency adverb, and then we see that there's a different kind of verb here. All right, so down here, we have some examples, and this is your job. It says, Anne is on time for class. We have to use the word always. We know we can say Anne is always on time for class. It works to put this word after is. But down here it says Anne comes to class on time. We know that we're going to put the word always before the verb this time. Anne always comes to class on time. Let's do the next one together. Sue is late for class. We know we can say Sue is often late for class. Over here, though, we have to say Sue often comes to class late. So you are going to correct these sentences and show where the frequency adverb should go. After you're done with that, I would like you to describe a typical day in your life from the time you get up until the time you go to bed. You are going to use the words to show the order of your activities. So what I mean by that is you are going to say words like usually, after. You're going to be using next, at whatever time o'clock, after that, later. So for example, if I were to do this, I might say, let's see here. I might say, I always get up at 7 a.m. I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, and make some coffee. Then I come downstairs and open up my computer and log on to the Google Meet. After that, I go back upstairs and make myself breakfast. Then I finish the rest of my day on my computer. After school is over, I go for a run. Then I play with my children and make dinner. I usually have dinner with my whole family. And then I tell my daughter to stop screaming. Here she comes. So you're going to be...
I'm free for 10 days. I'm free for 10.
I'm in the middle of something here.
Well, don't be in the middle of something right now.
And then I go to bed. So you can write a typical day in your life from the time you get up until the time you go to bed using these words to talk about the order. When you're done with this, you can put it either at the bottom of the page or you can attach a separate piece of paper. That's your grammar work for today. Sorry about my daughter.